When you're a new Amazon seller, you have to understand Amazon doesn't trust you. And recently in one of my Facebook groups, there was a comment from Christopher saying, watch out, eBay to Amazon is so dangerous. I got a Section 3. And he was pretty much pointing his finger at eBay to Amazon and saying, eBay to Amazon is the problem. It ain't my problem, right? I did everything correctly. It's eBay to Amazon. And this is what happens now in the Amazon community. Nobody takes responsibility anymore. And it's just so sad. There's so many resources. There's so many courses and training videos. And there's just, for myself, I put out everything, so many things for free. And people just don't watch the videos anymore. My income is at an all-time high in my Amazon business. My freedom is at an all-time high in my Amazon business. And the desire to sell on Amazon for most people is at an all-time low. And I don't blame them, right? Amazon is getting harder and harder, right? You know, for beginners right now, there's the whole gating process. There's the Section 3s. There's just the overwhelm of learning the platform, them holding your money for a long time. So I'm not here to say, you know, I don't have advantages. I know that I have advantages in my Amazon business, but I've been screaming at the top of the mountain for years. Amazon's only getting harder every single year, and people are joining Amazon now and they're getting Section 3s. They can't sell any products. They're gated, they're restricted. And, you know, I empathize with it for sure, but I don't know what to say. It's like there's so many videos, there's so many trainings, there's so many helpful resources out there, and people are just so freaking lazy nowadays. They just watch TikTok all day long. They swipe on their phone. They don't have the patience to join a Facebook group, to network, to engage, to build real relationships, to go through a video course. They're not going to waste 3 or 4 hours going through a course. For every 100 people who start Amazon now, maybe one of them, right? Maybe one out of every 500 will take the time to engage in a community, maybe pay a couple $100 to get a mentor, you know, to maybe pay a few $100 to get a course because they know their time is valuable, right? But then there's other people that say, well, I'm completely broke. I have $5. And, you know, who are these people to, you know, expect me to pay for coaching, pay for a course? I'm going to spend my precious time. Dude, you're broke. You're broke as a joke, okay? All you have is time, okay? But I work a job and I have kids and welcome to the world we live in. Life is hard. And it's just like people nowadays, it's crazy. This person got a Section 3 and they point their fingers at eBay to Amazon. It's like, dude, you're a dumbass. You're an absolute freaking dumbass. And I'm sorry, I'm sure you're a nice person, but you're just blaming everybody else. You're blaming the model. You're blaming Amazon. I looked at your ASINs, okay? I looked at the email that Amazon sent you. You're selling counterfeit items. You probably did not take a bit of your precious time to go through my videos, to go through my DVD prevention guide that's 100% free, join my Facebook group. I looked at my group. I didn't see any comments from you. I didn't see any questions. And now you're pointing fingers and you're 3 to 4 months in. I mean, people, wake the F up. Amazon doesn't trust you in the beginning. And I'm not here to tell people to sell on Amazon, but if you're going to start Amazon, if you're going to start a business, take it serious. You guys are trying to run a business and you treat it like a hobby. You just screw around. And with Amazon in 2026, you can't screw around. Amazon's a pain in the butt nowadays. They are. It was way easier in 2016 than 2017. 2017 was easier than 2018. 2020 was easier than 2022. 2024 was easier than 2026. Next year is going to be harder than this year. And I've been screaming at the top of the mountains, get started now if you want to do this, if you want to take advantage of this huge marketplace. But now people are so upset when they get a Section 3, but they're selling counterfeits. You broke every single rule that I teach. And you're going to have the nerve to post in the group that it's eBay to Amazon's fault. And I hold a special place in my heart because if it wasn't for eBay to Amazon flipping, I'd probably be out of business right now. I would be out of business. How am I able to do eBay to Amazon for almost 6 years now? Thrift, sell tons of items. I've sold tens of thousands, over probably 60, 70,000 items with no invoices. How do I have a perfectly clean account? Well, I guess you could say, you know, back then it wasn't as hard, so on and so forth. And that is true. But what you need to keep in mind now, especially in 2026, is you've got to be careful. In the beginning, you can't be selling these highly likely to be counterfeit items. I saw the items you're selling. 2 of the DVDs that you probably got hit with were probably counterfeits. Those DVDs break every single rule in my DVD prevention guide. Did you go through it? I don't know. Maybe you just ignored it, right? Maybe you just signed up for Replay and Catcher or Flipmine and just let it rip. You can't just let it rip nowadays on Amazon. If you want to just let it rip and not worry about anything, go sell on Etsy, go sell on eBay.com. Amazon is a completely different beast, okay? Items sell way faster on Amazon than all these other platforms, but it comes with rules that you have to follow and guidelines, and it's a lot of work. The first 6 to 12 months, you have to scale slowly, which you did, Christopher. Good job on that. But you have to be very cautious of the items that you're selling. And even if you get a Section 3, it doesn't mean you're done. And this is what drives me nuts nowadays. People think that Section 3 is like stage 5 cancer. It's not. You can beat it. A lot of times, you just need to verify your identity and show some invoices. I mean, go check out The Junk Flipper. He has a video on his YouTube channel where he was buying from Amazon and a bunch of items from eBay, and he had to beat the case. And they asked for hundreds of freaking invoices, and he didn't even have a lot of invoices. But there's a way to do it, right? There's a way to beat these Section 3s. The thing is, you have to fight for your life. It's like a lot of you guys, in the first sign of adversity, the first sign of a challenge, oh, I'm out, I quit. It's eBay to Amazon's fault. It's Jeff Bezos' fault. It's everybody else's fault but yourself. When the hell are you guys gonna wake up and take some responsibility for your life? I mean, business is hard. There's a reason why most people work a job. There's a reason why 95% of businesses, I'm not even talking about Amazon, go out of business within the first 5 years. Amazon and all businesses, being an entrepreneur and really making it and surviving, it's like a jungle, okay? And you've got to fight for your life, okay? If you get a Section 3, it's not a death sentence, okay? Watch Tanner's video. There's a bunch of videos and training on how to beat it. There's lawyers that you can hire. And I get it. You might be thinking to yourself, dude, Steve, shut your damn mouth. Shut your big bald face. I'm doing $500, $600, $800 a month. This is too much stress. This is not worth it. Well, maybe it's not, and you should just go to eBay, okay? Maybe you don't have the mental fortitude to fight the first 6 to 12 months, to fight through and to build your sales and to get through your Section 3. A lot of the Section 3s, as long as you're not tagged in a system for something weird, a lot of times you beat the Section 3 and you're good to go. But there are people who get Section 3s over and over again. My friend Amanda has gotten like 3 for doing nothing wrong, really, in the last like couple of weeks because she changed her address and they didn't accept it. And once something weird happens with either like you're a new seller and you start getting counterfeits, you change your address, you change your tax information without permission, and it's a whole thing. You get tagged and you kind of get like thrown in this bucket where you're in this perpetual like hell cycle with Amazon. And I'm lucky that I've never been in it. And there could be a day where I get a Section 3. There probably will be a day where I get a Section 3. There probably will be a day where I have to fight for my life. I mean, that's just the reality of, you know, selling on Amazon and being a reseller, right? There's going to come a time where I'm going to have to prove myself, and maybe I'll survive, maybe I won't, maybe I'll live, maybe I'll die. But I'll tell you this right now, I'm going to fight for my life. But I know my situation's different. I've got a real 6-figure business while you are new. You probably don't have a lot of money invested, a couple $100, you know, you're 3-4 months in, you got the Section 3 and you're like, dude, this is just a pain in the ass. And I get it. It's a pain in the ass, but don't blame Amazon, right? Don't blame the eBay to Amazon model. Blame yourself, right? For, you know, picking the wrong items. Blame yourself for giving up. And I don't mean that in a way to like, oh, I'm better than you. What I mean is, if you're going to quit and roll over, then just quit and roll over, okay? Don't go on social media and start crying because, yeah, you're going to get a bunch of people that pat you on your back. And the reason is most people are losers. I hate to say it. Most people are quitters. Most people don't go all in. Most people don't have the mental fortitude to grow a business past just a couple $1,000s a month because they're scared. They've got excuses. Oh, I don't have capital. I didn't have capital either, okay, in the beginning. I had to grow everything from scratch. When I started this channel, I was $20,000 in debt. I was smoking 2 packs of cigarette, getting high, addicted to Xanax, freaking coming off of Adderall and ADD medication, and 250 pounds, just felt like crap, living in my parents' house, delivering pizzas and working at the Cracker Barrel. So shut the up. Honestly, some of these people, it's mind-blowing. They want to get to the other side and be a winner, right? And again, this isn't about me and you, okay? Being a winner isn't making $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. Being a winner is whatever your goal is set at. You know, my mom, she makes $1,000, $2,000 a month profit. She's the ultimate champion. She's the queen, right? She's the ultimate winner because that's her goal. She's trying to, you know, take care of herself during Social Security and all that. And, you know, they don't pay very much. But you want to know what? She's gone through issues. She's had counterfeits. She's had IP complaints. I'm sure there's going to be a time where she gets a Section 3 and we're going to fight for our life. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you've got to fight. You could post on social media and you're going to get all these virtual high fives. And again, I hate to call people losers, but that's the reality. Look around. Most people are not making six figures. Most people have a bag full of excuses instead of a bag full of money, and their work ethic shows. They don't put in a ton of effort. They complain more than ever. You know, I do my fair share of complaining, but what you guys don't see is I'm working my ass off behind the scenes in many different areas. And it doesn't mean every day I win. I get punched in the face and I lose all the time. I've probably had, you know, the people that you respect the most probably have had 1,000 times more failures. I'm not the brightest bulb. I fail all the time, but I fight. You know, I'm not the smartest. I don't have the highest Q, but I fight. And that's the thing that people don't have nowadays. They don't have the willingness to fight. They don't have the willingness to ask questions. They don't have the willingness to put their money where their mouth is. They don't have the mental fortitude to fight through the challenges. There's a challenge in front of you, and most people say, oh, there's a challenge, right? God, the universe, it's a sign. It's a sign this isn't going to work. No, in entrepreneurship, it's a sign you got to blast through. You got to find a way. You got to make a way. If there's no way, you create your own way. In my eBay to Amazon business, and again, this isn't here to say, oh, eBay to Amazon's the best. There's risks involved with it. If you sell on Amazon, there's risks. If you run a business, there's risks. How delusional are some of you people? I just don't get it anymore. But I had to create softwares for myself. I've had to create Chrome extensions for myself, spreadsheets. I've had to build video trainings and things that just didn't exist. I had to literally build my business from scratch because there was no way. There was nobody on YouTube. There was no training. There was some softwares out there. Flipmind, big shout out to Flipmind as well. I then did build Replay Catcher, but Flipmind existed, so I got to give them credit where credit is due. But I had to build my way. I had to create and just innovate and lose a lot of money. And people just aren't willing to do that nowadays. They just want to scroll on TikTok, and the first sign of defeat, I quit. Stage 5 terminal cancer, it's over. It's like, what? Does nobody fight anymore? How you do anything is how you do everything. And I can tell you right now, I'm sure Christopher, dude, I'm sure you're a good guy. I don't mean to come off like an asshole. I'm sorry for all the profanity in this video, but it's like, I've gotten to a point now where it's like, people want to make a ton of money. They want the rewards. They want the upside. You know, they want to get to 100 degrees, right? 100 degrees is making 100,000, but their thermostat is set at 50, and they want to be comfortable, right? They don't want to fight anymore. And it's frustrating now. And I get it. Amazon's hard. Amazon's a pain in the ass. It's only going to get harder. Maybe it's not for you. I'm not saying to do Amazon, right? This community is a ghost town lately. It's an absolute ghost town because the average person does not have the balls to do it anymore, right? They don't have the patience. They don't have the time. And then, you know, people like me, and there's hundreds of others showing that they're doing 10,000 a month, 20K a month in sales, right? This month so far in April, right? Today's April 17th or 18th. Yeah, I think it's the 18th of 2026. 18 days in a month, I'm already over $12,000 net profit after returns, fees, paying a team of 7 people now, a prep center, giving incentives, paying my team well. But people don't care anymore. They don't care because it doesn't benefit them, because they say, well, Steve, you could sell brands that I can't sell. Yeah, I put in the work for the last 12 years. They don't care, right? All they're looking at, and I don't blame them, they're looking and they're saying, well, I'm gated, I'm restricted. I don't want to put in the 6 to 12 months. Like, I don't want to have to invest in these products and, you know, buy from distributors to get ungated, even though sometimes it's just 2 or 3 brands that can make you a ton of money, right? I don't sell millions of different brands. I know people who are doing 6 figures on Amazon with just a couple of brands ungated, right? But people don't want to hear that, right? They just want the plug and play system, the passive income, the, you know, the silly goose what was I going to say? It's like little silly goose games. I don't know how else to say it. It's just people don't want to run a real business nowadays. And it's kind of gotten to the point on this channel where it's almost like I feel like I've outgrown a lot of my audience. You know, a lot of the people who come in, I want to help them, you know, and I don't mean it in a negative way where I'm better than anybody, but it's like, these beginners, they start Amazon and it's like, I can't do the push-ups for you, right? I can't get you inspired. I can't turn you into a fighter. I can't fight for your own life. I can't have patience for you. I can't give you the ability to want to meet people and ask questions and engage and be consistent. I can't do it. You know, I can't do it for you. I can put out the information, but when people don't ask questions, people don't engage, there's nothing for sale. I mean, it's a wild little place in the Amazon community. And it's almost getting to a point where it's like, should I even make videos anymore? Because who am I making the videos for? People don't engage. They don't leave comments. I'm running a business that's making more and more money now, and it's crazy. Someone gets a Section 3 and they just point the finger. It's like, maybe you should just work a job.